episode of the Hunters Association podcast where we get to cover solo leveling. And this week we're going to be talking about the end of the Jeju Island arc and all of our thoughts are. Joining me today are.
Trent Money was good.
Not everybody at once now.
All right, Trent, you go first.
Shit. Yeah, Trent Money, you already know who it is. Just here with the boys. Solo leveling.
What's up? I'm JD. Y'all know me already.
Y'all all know each other. JC2K here. Everybody know who it is. Maybe
we know who the
Solo
mans
leveling.
is. We know who the real mans is right here. All right. All right. Now with the new latest chapter coming out, what do you guys think of it? The fact that he had to give up Minbyu for the goodness of his heart.
I was happy because I didn't like it. I was ever since last episode. I was like, I don't want him there. I didn't want him as Shadow. When he resurrected him, I was like, why? What's he doing there?
It was for good.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Girl needed to be saved.
Baby girl would need to be saved, but there's an ant over there. Just get the ant.
They can do the same fucking thing.
Exactly.
But how well?
Well, it doesn't matter how well she'll get up eventually.
Yeah, I get to the point where you want to revive the one that's going to be most efficient in doing what you need. I get definitely what you're saying as far as not wanting him there because I didn't want him there either. I honestly forgot that wasn't the first human that he revived. Like during my original reaction.
Yo, why do we gotta keep bashing on JC like this?
Look, my comment section when I said that Mingyu was the first human that he revived, my comment section went crazy on me. It was ridiculous. Like Iron was in the background of the shot too, and they're like, Iron is sitting right there. How come you're an idiot? Do you even know what you're talking about? I was like, bro, I forgot. Jesus.
Jeez, don't gotta
Bro,
roast me
people
so
are
hard.
crazy, dude.
I swear to God they are.
So long, y'all gotta give me a break.
Yeah, it's like I got a regular life too, man. I can't keep up. With
I got a full-time job, I got this other
Exactly.
stuff. I got a whole YouTube channel to run, and I got a second one. Like, man, y'all gotta give me a break here.
There are no breaks. You can never mess up.
But the thing is, the webtoon kind of made it in that moment. It still brought that feeling as if it was the first time.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
done it. Because it was like, it was almost because he kind of was like, "Yo, the system is acting like it doesn't want me to do this." So it was almost like, okay,
It was such an important moment in it too.
Yeah.
It's like I was like, this is the first one. This is so important.
The way the roles played for that, like the ambiance of the art, the way everything they were talking, the way their facial expressions and everything, it didn't want him to do it, but he had to do it because of the circumstances going on. And then once he Bak saw Minbyu get revived, he was like, yo, don't make my boy fight anymore. He doesn't like it. He never wanted to do it to begin with. And that's like what hit me in the heart right there was Bak standing up for Minbyu for Sun Jin to cancel the summon. You know what I mean? That's like,
Man,
that was that heartwarming moment that really hit me.
then we had to put that man in his place, touching the shoulder like that. I ain't appreciate that. And it wasn't even me.
the nigga, the second time you touched me, I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, but,
exactly.
But then he followed up with, but this time it's with a heartfelt request, with that smile on his face and everything.
Like,
he the body though, right after that.
I get the personality of the shadows, but do they always correlate with the human? Because the human of Iron was totally different than how Iron acts now. But Mingyu, he was just like he was as a human.
Minbyu was like what Minbyu was, a genuine human who would heal whoever he can. Because like
it was
he didn't.
almost like. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just like, it was almost basically just JC's point is like almost again, it was still kind of like they made it seem like it was the first time he did it because they tied his personality with it and all this other kind of stuff. And I was talking to Grimm actually the other day, and I was actually wanted to ask you guys as well. What do you think? Like, do you think that him doing that is clearly stopping him from passing to the next life? It's like as far as like him keeping him as a shadow soldier, it's like is he stopping him from going to heaven or hell or wherever the fuck he was supposed to go next? As far as just like his soul or his spirit.
Isn't there a void or something like that?
It's called the Abyss.
The Abyss.
If time waits too long, like I remember last time we were talking about him trying to revive Minbyu, and we were all like, but there was like a time limit because of the Abyss. But like the longer they stay in the Abyss, the more they get absorbed by the Abyss. So when it comes to the Shadow Soldiers, so like the second he's canceled or something, he's just gonna send him back into the abyss. So he's not really going to heaven or hell. He's just getting sent away, but to live his peaceful life.
Yeah, I kind of almost interpreted it as like you said, after that amount of time, it's like you can't. The spirit has already moved on at that point in time. You can no longer grab it. But
because there was a time limit, because of the system, it allows him to have a certain time limit to bring back said shadow, to see if he has a willpower to bring him back as well, because all the summonings are based on Jinwoo's willpower on bringing him back, as we noticed with Minbyun when he failed the first time, because he wasn't so confident about him he wasn't confident about him reviving him because he didn't want to do it, that's why it failed the first time. But then his head got straight onto reviving Chahai, and then it succeeded the second time. That's how I see it as, at least, because the same thing happened with Igris the first time when he failed for his first 2 times, and when he was like, "Why are you protecting an empty throne when you could be protecting me right here?"
Right.
True.
It's all about the willpower based of Jinwoo for the summonings.
Well, he seemed like he was in a hurry to save baby girl. I'm not sure where his mind was, but I needed him to get it correct the first time.
I'm saying, because he fucked up that first time, I was like, whoa, wait a minute.
Oh, that man was in a hurry. He was trying to make sure he get it done, so he can save him.
Now here's the thing: how do you guys feel about do you guys feel that it was just the level of difficulty that made the revival of the ant look different? Him going into that whole.
I think it was just that
the Ant King was a lot more powerful of a creature. Like
that's what I was thinking. It might have been a power thing.
JD, you okay there? JD,
you froze, bro.
He lost him.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I was thinking it's more of the power of the ant that made it somewhat different. I'm not sure what the darkness was. It was a little strange. They didn't explain it either, so I didn't know what it was. I knew it was different, but I knew it succeeded. So,
but they gave off
the first time too, right?
Yeah,
it succeeded the first time because he was adamant on getting that ant. He was really adamant on getting him, and I guess it's because he was a higher class than the other ones. Yeah, the darkness that overfolded, and whoa! Thank you for the follow, Super Mario. Appreciate that.
Are we live?
I am live on Twitch right now. Yes.
Oh, what's up? Hell yeah.
So the way that they with the classes, yeah, because he was a general class compared to the rest of them, and he's like general should be the highest of the highest. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, so my translation was horrible, and I got flamed for that too. The Ant King actually talked, and I didn't notice it because the translation was bad.
No, I think there's a divide in the community, because some people in my comments said it was the ant talking. I think they're confusing the ant's text with Sung Jin-woo's text as far as like. I think that's what's going on. I think they're not sure if that's the ant that said like, oh, when the part where he says, "Oh, I'm back" or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was Sung Jin-woo saying that, like, "Yo, I'm
back." That's what I thought too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think some people are thinking that it's the ant that is the one that says that.
So on different translations, on all the other ones I saw, it was the ant saying he was back. Like, "Oh, I'm back." So I was like, "Oh, so the ant can talk?" That's.
I need to go and look at a couple translations so that it deliberately redistributed where like the bubble was, or like I guess discerned who was speaking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for me it did at least. Because I read mine on Kiss Manga first, then I went to SoulLeveling.net, then I went to Jamini's, and they both had it. Yeah.
Right, so what I missed?
I read it on.
Talking about the ant talking right now.
I read it on Manganello, and it still had that little fuzzy translation error.
I put the link to the stream in this chat.
Hi.
So when I was looking at it, it was the ant was talking. I was like, okay, that's the first time that Shadow would start talking, especially as soon as it comes out. So I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of more, I guess, character development from the Shadows if they get strong enough to talk. If that's the whole indication of if they get stronger and they start talking, then that'll actually help out the story a little bit. But I'm not sure if they're gonna get that far. I'm not sure how much of the story and how far they're gonna level up altogether.
Mm-hmm. Especially with them hitting level 100 now, what do you guys think is gonna happen next? Is he gonna get a random quest for hitting level 100? Is he gonna get a random gift box for hitting level 100, or is he gonna get nothing at all?
I'm gonna go with a gift box.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Okay,
maybe
wait. Does he get the right answer?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm just gonna go with a gift box. Y'all can go.
Yeah. See, I'm skeptical now.
But what I'm thinking is, I think he's gonna get nothing at level 100. It's gonna hit level 101 because it's such an odd number, and he hates it when it's an odd number, as we stated before. And it's just gonna give him a random ass gift box for hitting level 101.
I don't really think it's anything significant, or it's a gift box. Apparently, keep saying.
I'm just guessing because it sounds like gift box.
I'm just saying. The last time we got a gift box was Baron, right? Or King Braun? Or was that the last time we got one? Or what was the one before?
No, the last time he got a random gift box was for completing the quest, and he got the blessed gift box that gave him the key to the demon castle.
And that was when he was around level.
I want to say level like 80-ish, 83 or something like that.
That's what I was thinking, around 80 something, but
Could it be? I don't remember.
So can somebody explain to me this whole U.S. trying to take Jeju to the United States thing?
Oh, they saw his power. They want to recruit him.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but how could they just recruit him? Like, hey, we can get him over here.
Oh, they're gonna use everything in their power to try and recruit him.
Yeah.
They're gonna try and offer him endless amounts of money, endless amounts of materials, whatever they can. Even if they got some random ass creature lying in the basement to say, "Hey, you can keep this guy," you know.
Now,
It's America, bro. They got aliens, bro.
the other JD, you did watch you've read the light novel, correct?
Correct.
Without like I guess spoiling it too much.
All right.
Give us a little.
I really just want to know: do we have a good like length left of the series, and then do we like how in depth are we going to continue to go? Like, is there a good amount left to cover in solo leveling? Do we have a year? Do we have 2 years? You know what I'm saying?
Don't hurt me, bro. Don't hurt me.
It really all depends on how they do the chapters. So far, it's been pretty much word for word for the light novel for the most part. I mean, I can say this part because it's already passed. For instance, like, okay, so during the Jeju Island raid, the difference that happened with that was, one, Ming Byung-goo's body was left in Jeju Island. They didn't bring him back. So that's one difference in it. Because the reason why in the light novel he was left, it triggered an interaction between some different beings and another guild. Because when they went to go back to retrieve his body, something happened. And there's been like differences here and there throughout. Like, for instance, the little scrimmage all the S rank hunters had, that was nowhere in the light novel. That was strictly Webtoon.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah. So that was strictly Webtoon.
Wait. What was strictly Webtoons?
The little skirmish between the S rank hunters before the raid. That wasn't
some liberties there.
Also, when he went to fight the Demon King, his seal wasn't there. The seal left. So that was also a difference. So I don't know if they're going to incorporate her again, because in the light novel, that was the last time you see you hear of his seal.
In the light novel, that's the last time you hear of the dragon. Is that what you're telling me?
No, of seal, the demon.
Oh,
the baby girl demon. The baby girl demon.
Yeah, the baby girl.
Oh, okay. The seal. I was like, oh no.
So I don't know.
Kaiso, Kaiso's sticking around. He can't not stick around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't know how they're gonna do that. So there's been subtle differences here and there. A few name changes, like Tusk was actually named Fangs, and Igris is actually Ygritte. So
Now, I really do. I do like the Demon Girl. Now, okay. Now, I guess this is more specifically. Are we at or have we passed the halfway point?
yeah, we're right at the halfway point.
So
This
we got at
new
least another 100 chapters.
Oh yeah, the light novel is 270. And that's without the side story. So
Okay.
right, so
Interesting.
we are about halfway. Also, this new arc that we're going into is gonna change everything from what we do know about how the story is and
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
So they're gonna hit us
Yep.
with a full 180, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's gonna hit us with a full 180. Now, don't get me wrong, it's gonna be hype. It's not gonna be horrible and then, but it's really gonna get into what the system is,
Yes.
who is the system,
Yeah,
So-
that's,
so we're
that's
gonna
everybody in my comments. Like, you haven't seen
why the-
nothing
why
yet.
the system chose him, and
I'm hyped now.
So,
Yeah,
so
so-
what you're saying is we're about to get into in depth with everything going on that we really needed to get for us.
right. So he's gonna have now. I know. All right, let me say this. So for a lot of people out there who is complaining about, no, it's not a spoiler. It's not a spoiler.
Scared.
But a lot of people who's out there complaining about Jinwoo, is winning too easily and all of this stuff. His fights will get more difficult as it goes on. I mean,
Hell
he's
yeah.
gonna have
That's
one, yeah, he's
That's
gonna
the only
have
complaint.
right. He's gonna have one more to where he's gonna just body people, and then after that, he's gonna be struggling.
Ooh, struggle.
And, yeah.
That's what we need.
So he's gonna struggle a little bit. Not his next fight, but the fight after.
That's the spoilers.
So what?
You don't
Excluding JD. Okay. What do you guys think is gonna happen right after this? We're gonna have like a big chill factor of them just relaxing, trying to go through all the people trying to recruit Jinwoo, or are we gonna like get another fight right away, or what? What's gonna happen right after this Jeju Island raid, this gigantic raid that just happened?
I wouldn't say it's like a I wouldn't say it's a chill moment, but I think that's when that just looks like the point of the story where all these political moves start to happen. So we may not be getting into a lot of like physical hype, but we probably want to get a whole bunch of pieces being moved and like just a setup for like what's gonna happen. Like I was talking to, like I said, I was talking to Grimm the other day, and it's like the transition between arcs is like seamless. Like when we were in the Demon King arc, we were seeing a little bit of like little glimpses of the ants and like how that was setting up, and then we just, the next thing you know, boom, we're there, we're in Jeju Island, But so I'm assuming that these little pieces, as far as like us randomly seeing like chairmans and things like that and directors or whatever, every couple chapters we're about to start seeing more stuff involving everybody like that.
Okay.
Well, I kind of really hope the country start getting involved. Number one, and number two, before people actually knew who Jinwoo was because he wasn't going to the raid, and they were asking or commenting on him not going. But now, I mean, he was on TV, he was on the internet, he's famous now. Like literally,
He was nationwide for the whole world to see.
exactly. So everybody saw him. So if they don't actually, I kind of want them to go into a little bit of him being more known, more famous, like how you deal with that, how he deals with, he was a small time and trying to stay under the radar, but now there's no way he can. Like even America is trying to recruit him at this point. I wonder if any other countries are going to try to recruit him.
Like China or Germany, Russia, and stuff
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Yeah, something like that. Japan.
They need somebody.
They need something. Yeah, they're pretty much done for at this current moment.
They only have like after like the 12, because they had 20 in total, I think it was, and they sent like 8 to 12 other S-rank hunters, and most of them were the best of the best in Japan. And with all of them getting wiped out, Japan is at an all-time low now, with only probably around like 4 or 5 S-rank countries left who weren't like the top tier best of the best. So solely the reason why they did not go onto the Jeju Island raid.
Yep.
You guys think Jinwoo is actually gonna ever start his guild?
Oh yeah,
He's trying to start it. Will this make it easier for him or harder, do you think? Because he wants to keep it small, but
I think it'll make it easier on him.
yeah,
Because he's just gonna throw all the responsibilities onto what's the kid's name?
Jinho.
Jinho. You're gonna put it on Jinho. Cause he's gonna be the vice president, taking care of all the recruitment stuff that people want to join into Jinwoo's guild, and he's gonna take care of pretty much everything going on, financial wise and whatnot. Because he's already been doing that kind of really, like he's been taking care of everything behind the scenes.
Yeah, and you know how just Sung Jinwoo is. It's like I feel like even if he makes like even in within the guild, he's still gonna move like solo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's still gonna kick back until it's time for him to step in, or everybody else really at this point. And like I don't know, like because JD just said like they are going to get to the point where he struggles a bit, but it's to the point where other people are in his way like right now. Like if you're another human on the battlefield with him right now, you're basically in his way.
Right.
When his knights and his ants and bears and shit can just take
wizards
care of
and all this other shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you gotta realize his whole point of going into dungeons is to level up. So it wouldn't really make sense for him to get a lot of people to join his guild when
he's already the strongest one around.
Yeah, just like we've seen in the Demon Castle, how he split up all the different factions of soldiers. He doesn't really need anybody else.
That was cheating, by the way. I was like, that's the biggest cheat code in the world.
All right, let me make these factions and send them out so I don't gotta do shit.
Pretty much.
So we're about halfway through. Let's give me like scale from 1 to 10. Like if you had to, from what we've been through so far, you know how the hype has been. But how much we gonna ramp up?
I'd say a solid 8. We're about to ramp up heavy.
Yeah, from
right after this arc.
Yeah, sure.
Like going from this arc to the next few arcs, or you just talking about in general?
This arc for the next, let's say, next 2.
I think it's going to ramp up pretty hard. So probably like an 8.
I'm trying to recall.
Does he get the right to answer?
The good news is
Your Honor.
He asked.
I mean, I'm just not what's happening, but just
yeah. I'm not gonna say what's happening, but I'm just trying to see how much it's gonna ramp up.
How it's gonna
would
get.
Would you say the later half of Solo first
is better than the first?
Yeah. So like, if we call this the halfway point, is what's to come better than what has passed, or would you say maybe same tier?
I'd probably say same tier.
I could live with that.
I'd probably say same tier.
I could live with that.
Good.
It doesn't fall off. I mean, okay. So the difference between the light novel and the webtoon is the light novel does a lot more explanations, of course. So the webtoon doesn't do as much, which is why I don't. A lot of stuff that's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be as impactful, like
how to hype it,
like that, because it's a lot of dialogue. So that's why I say probably same tier.
Okay.
Because I don't know how much in depth they're actually gonna go.
So we can say that if we get at least, you said the light novel's 270 chapters. If we get close to that, what are we now? 105. So yeah, about 50. If we take no breaks, which we've already taken a break once this year already, right?
Once this year, one last year.
Yeah, so basically we could say about 50 chapters a year, 51 chapters a year. Yeah, we got a good 2 years.
Yeah, that's also if he doesn't, they don't incorporate the side story stuff into the main story, or they have like little extra stuff, like I was telling y'all with this little scrimmages and stuff like that. They might throw some, extra stuff in there. So it's really all going to depend on how much they want to do.
On the artist and the person writing the stories for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are the odds you guys think we get an anime announcement?
Low.
As of right now, pretty low.
Don't say that.
Mainly because of the fact that God of High, like they just announced for Webtoons to have an anime, especially for Tower of God right now. They're probably gonna start off with Tower of God, and then probably a year later on, they're probably gonna have God of High School. A year later after that, probably Solo Leveling. Year after that, Hardcore Leveling Warrior. Since we already seen that little snippet for the video game for God of High School, Hardcore Leveling Warrior, and Tower of God. We're probably gonna get those 3 animes first, considering the fact that they've already animated them for the video games. You know.
No. So you think what? Go ahead, bro.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, okay. So first, the thing why I say it's low is because Crunchyroll did a deal with Webtoons. Solo Leveling isn't under Webtoons; it's on the Kaio page or Kaiko page. So it's 2 different publishers, which is why I say it's very low. Now the whole thing with Tower God, God of High School, and Noblest, they're already getting the anime, and because that's the deal with Crunchyroll and Webtoons. So as far as Solo Leveling, unless Netflix pick it up or some random studio in Japan say, "Hey, let's do it."
Hey, Ufotable, we're calling you out, boys. We gotta have the $1 billion budget y'all did for Kimetsu no Yaiba for Solo Leveling.
It's a very low chance.
We probably do need to start some type of internet wave, getting somebody to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, there is a petition actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say we gotta start a petition for Solo Leveling to the anime.
Yeah, from Netflix.
Okay. Hopefully they do it in 3D.
It was like at 70,000, I think.
Let's add on to that later on, boys.
Yeah, it's at 82,000 and growing.
PM me the link through Twitter, please.
Oh, you want me to send it to you?
Yes, so I can sign up for that petition. Every vote counts.
Every vote counts. Yes.
You understand? You know what I mean? Like, especially for something as big as this, it's pretty important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, I hope it does. I mean, we all hope it does, but it just.
I'm really hoping for a God of High School one.
Is it good?
God of High School is pretty fire. I like it a lot.
Is Dragon Ball Z without Super Saiyan?
I mean, yeah.
That's what it. That's what God of High School is. I mean, the creator of God of High School was heavily inspired by Dragon Ball. So when you read it, you'll see a lot of similarity.
Now, are you saying that? But when you say it's like Dragon Ball without Super Saiyan, are you saying it? And I can't tell which way you're saying it. Like,
yeah, it's on.
So it's like this. Like in original Dragon Ball, you know, it was straight martial arts, no real superpowers here and there. And then when Dragon Ball Z, it turned into a lot of superpowers.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how God of High School is. It's like first you start off with straight martial arts, and then something happens, and then we have superpowers now, and then something else happens, and then we back to martial arts. So,
and one of the superpowers come out of nowhere because all of a sudden he has his crown on his head and it makes no sense.
Hey, yo, you can't spoil that. Hold up.
Just saying.
Hey, hold up. Trent hasn't read it yet, brother.
I did see some. I seen the image with a nigga with a float, like a little floating. They have some.
Okay,
I guess hard little outfits. That's what made me want to get into it because it had some hard little like art and outfits or whatever. But
I'm about to cosplay as Mori Jin.
Where are you gonna go?
Kidding me, Cody?
He's gonna do it at the house.
What? For conventions? Yeah. I'm probably gonna go out to ASAN and debut it because right now I have the jeans, the shirt, the pants, and I'm working on the wig.
Where do you do any of you guys live close to Georgia? Oh, you wait, nigga, JC, did you say you live in Georgia?
Yeah, I live in Georgia.
We're going to Dragon Con in Atlanta.
Ooh. That's like one of the biggest cons in the States, brother.
In August. Yeah, we're gonna be going. We're gonna be sliding down. I went. I don't know if you guys live. Like, it's in some of my older videos, but some of the guys that do like One Piece and shit, we all went down to New York Comic Con, and then last year we went. So that was 2018. And last year we went to LA Anime Expo. I cosplayed as Doflamingo out there.
Hey, oh yeah, I saw that Dolphy.
Yeah. And this year, we're gonna go ahead and hit that Dragon Con.
I'd be cosplaying as Dressrosa, Luffy.
Oh, Dressrosa Luffy, hell yeah.
Back on topic, I guess.
Yeah,
we got so off topic.
Let's get back on Solo.
Man.
All right, so we talked about what we thought of the chapter. We talked about what we think may happen next. Let's go into predictions on what do you guys actually think the system is.
So what I think the system is just, as I pointed out before, since it's slowly building up to become the Shadow Monarch they always keep mentioning, it's just slowly building him up to become like a replacement for a Shadow Monarch. Because if there was already like a bunch of, if there's a Shadow Monarch, there's got to be other monarchs out there that's trying to, okay, let me get back to this here. Since all these portals are extra dimensional, the monarchs aren't showing up into the world because they probably have some reason they can't. So they gotta try and find human vessels to enter this world. So what I'm thinking the system is trying to get Jinwoo up to the level of the Shadow Monarch, and then trying to implement the Shadow Monarch into Jinwoo so the Shadow Monarch can enter Earth. You know?
Mm-hmm. All right, what about you, JC?
Man, I have no idea. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. I'm not sure why he's leveling up. I'm not sure who is leveling him up. I don't know the point of him leveling up. But I know he's gonna have to fight something that's super strong, so that's the only reason I can think of. But I don't know what's going on at this point. I have no guesses. Like, it could be anything at this point.
All right. What about you, Trent?
I literally have no idea.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who had an idea about it? Oh no.
Yeah, I'm literally reading the chapters, trying to figure it out, and I was like, nope, I got nothing yet.
The only reason why I brought up that conclusion was because of just how much they bring up the Shadow Monarch and how weird the portals are, and that not many monsters actually come out of the portals really until like it gets overrun. Like they mow down the fucking hunters that enter it, and then it gets overrun and they spew out of the portals, just like with the Jeju Island portal. How the monsters were too strong and they couldn't handle it, so they started spewing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're talking about the dungeon break?
Mm-hmm. The dungeon break for the Jeju Island. So
you're saying that they don't really break until humans cross over?
Yep, not really until they realize it. So they start to come through the portal. And
they said the dungeon breaks is because when they go into dungeons and they can defeat it within a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a time limit on it.
Yeah, that's when they break out of the dungeon.
Then what the fuck is holding them back in the time limit?
Just like whenever, like when Jinwoo asked about the system or what it is, and then like back in was that Ice Elf and like freaked out, whatever that system is was holding them back. I'm not sure what it is or why it's there. Once again,
no. Here's the thing: I guess they have to be, but are the monsters in that bonus, like, the demon castle or whatever, like, how they were, she was saying, like, before they were in a war, back on
right.
Like, so does that mean that all these monsters across all the dungeons that, like, they all know each other, you know what I mean?
They're all linked into one world.
Yeah, so, like, would they recognize the monster, would she being in that bonus dungeon recognize the monsters that are appearing in like his actual real world or whatever?
Well, I don't think so, because she didn't recognize none of his shadow soldiers when he summoned them out.
Yeah, but
at least they never mentioned her recognizing any other shadow soldiers.
So I guess you would probably know more than anybody. So yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing there's different worlds.
Like they never mentioned anything.
Yeah, maybe there's different worlds or something, but maybe there's.
I just didn't know if they're related to the overall, like,
the system.
I think it's connected somehow, but once again, trying to figure that out is beyond me at this current point. They haven't really given us too many clues.
Right.
Besides, them kind of glitching out whenever you ask about it, or when he gets too close to information. That's the only link that they have.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that bonus dungeon for the demons was just something that probably happened in the past, and it's just making Jinwoo go through it again, to go through what the Shadow Monarch went through.
Like in Dragon Ball Z, the hyperbolic time chamber. When Krillin and them went into it.
But you get what I'm getting at though.
Yeah, I get what you're getting at though. Yeah.
Because when she was talking about the war, it only let her talk about it to a certain extent before it cut it out, and then Jinwoo was like, "What'd you say?" And then she was like, "What? I didn't say nothing." Because it doesn't want him to recall the past, really.
So what you're saying is the system is trying to get him to become the next Shadow Monarch for this future war that's gonna happen.
Yes, because I guarantee you there's probably much more monarchs out there. If all these people, all the monsters out there keep mentioning Shadow Monarch, then there has to be other monarchs out there. Because who's running those guys aside from the Shadow Monarch? You know,
maybe like a legend amongst the monsters.
I'm trying to figure out what is strong enough to create these portals with these different types of animals.
It's got to be God.
Yeah, tell them they can't get out until, there's a time limit. And then if the time limit goes past, then all these things come out into the earth. Like, what is strong enough for that? And it's got to be connected to the system, so...
Right.
No, I was just thinking, like, what if it's just a game to this god guy? He was just like, hey, y'all, I'm going to send these portals in here, and we're going to see how the humans do.
Like some no game, no life type stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, bro. What if God made a bet with somebody who was like, all right, dude, I bet my humans are gonna whoop you monsters' asses.
Now you know how early on when he first got the title of being a necromancer,
Right.
kind of explaining that there's other jobs.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that he'll ever venture off into other jobs or anything like that, or be other titles, or maybe is level 100 prestiging him? And me and Grimm talked about this as well. Like, is he getting prestiged and becoming a different level of necromancer now, or what do you guys think? How do you guys think that's gonna go?
Someone asked me if he's gonna get another job or like a secondary type job, and I was like, he's already so strong now, but you're gonna add something else to it. But
I mean,
why add to his power so much?
What'd you say, bro?
Go ahead, Sarah. You can go first.
Oh no, you're good.
I go. Oh, I was gonna say, when you think about it, he always has a second job. Before he got the necromancer, he was already leveling up towards an assassin. So he really started off as an assassin just without the official title, and then he got necromancer. So if you want to look at it, like, his sub job is, or sub class is assassin.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because everybody does, like, mention how he's not your typical mage or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Right.
He's too OP to be a goddamn mage. He's not squishy enough.
But I would also like to see them give him the offers, though. You know, like, if throughout this time they would have been like, yo, you can, be... Because, like, what if he would have declined necromancer then and became... I guess, would he have got something else based upon the type of shit he was doing? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, possible. I guess, because, I mean, I don't know, because he was aiming for assassin anyway. So, when you think about it, he never wanted necromancer or that kind of power. He was strictly thinking about, hey, I want to be an assassin.
One of the main reasons why he actually took the necromancer class was because it was a hidden class compared to the rest.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
Because he straight up said in his mind, necromancer, hidden class, I might not come across this again. You know?
And that's the only reason he took it.
The way the system messaged that actually was pretty cool. It was pretty weird to me, because it was telling how he was mowing down all of his enemies on site when it's the system telling him to mow down his enemies on site.
Right.
And then it out of nowhere just gave him this class because the system told him to mow these guys down, otherwise he would die. So it was forcing him into the necromancer class regardless.
Right.
So I just thought that was pretty neat and pretty cool about it.
Okay.
What do you guys?
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
Oh shit! My shit was gonna be real random. So if you got something like on the same alley,
no, it was just gonna be another question for y'all. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but we were also talking about what do you guys think if he were to fail his daily penalties now? What, like, do you think that, like, if he, I don't know if he would go back and see the scorpion or whatever the fuck it was, I can't remember, snake or scorpion, but
That was a centipede.
Oh yeah, that might have been that. But regardless, like, do you think the penalty has now increased, or is it just the same level, of difficulty?
I mean, considering the fact that the last time he went through the penalty was when he was trying to go through his job change class, and he was a lot stronger now. And the difficulty did not change whatsoever. It stayed the same from when he was a lower level till then, So I don't think it's gonna change at all if he ever ends up getting back in there.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I don't think it would change. But then again, I mean, he's never gonna fail on purpose. Again, he has no reason to.
Right, but again, not on purpose. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean,
if anything, it's gonna be.
I already said he does his daily routines just out of pure habit because he's done them for so long.
Yeah.
Well, because he has to now. Well,
Yeah.
And
so I don't think we'll never get to see that.
I just want to bring up the fact about Minbyu's shadow, because he noticed, like right after the Jinwoo was gonna cancel the summon, he noticed who Bak was. You know, he looked at him, and they both looked at each other. And at the end, when he was going away, they both smiled at each other. And the fact that Bak was gonna see a smile from his friend for one last time, and the fact that the shadow noticed who his friend was, the personality wise with all that really hit pretty hard. What do you guys think about that?
I thought that was a nice touch. It definitely gave you more of a. I guess they tried to make you feel more for the character Min Byung-gu, because really they introduced him right before the raid, and then
washed him.
Yeah,
they washed him.
I really didn't like him at first. Like when they introduced him on the ship, I think he was saying something like cocky. I can't remember what the hell he was saying, but I was like, okay, this dude is trash. And then we got into the dungeon or whatever, and I kind of like when you got to see him like buffing everybody. I was like, okay. And then he got
he got what he got right there,
which penetrated with that freaking arm. I was like, yep, damn.
So I just think they just tried to make you feel more for the character, unlike Godo. But
it gave me a new perspective on the shadows, bearing on their ranks, because Iron was an A class, but he couldn't recall most of what was going on. But then Minbyun being a S class, he recalled what was going on around him. He knew that Chahai was injured the second he got resurrected. He knew who Bakhyo was. And just the personality-wise, the shadows gives me a new perspective for higher ranking shadows, which gives me a perspective on the Ant King, because then he'll have more of a personality than the other shadows did. He'll have more interaction time with Jinwoo, and since he was able to talk just a little bit, we'll have our first shadow that can actually communicate with the MC, which gives me a lot to think about for the future going on. Like, how smart is the Ant King gonna get later on? How crazy is he gonna get for human knowledge?
Yeah.
Because he's gonna be
I think I'm heartless because I was like, bye. I was like, I didn't want you here anyways, so you did your job.
You died. I'll do your job. I'll see you later.
I can't help it. I was just like, I get singularly focused, and I was like, she's hurt. Fix her. Yeah, all right, bye, bro.
Fix baby girl. That's all we need in life, boys.
That's what I was into. So at that moment, I was just like, eh.
Cold-blooded.
Trent, what do you think about the personality stuff going on for the higher ranking shadows?
Who you asking?
Trent.
Oh, Trent. He's on mute.
I didn't realize I was muted. I was surprised that I was in there commenting and shit. I was surprised that Sung Jin Woo kind of talked to his shadow that way, and I believe it was 10, it might have been 104 when he was like, or beginning of 105 when he was like, yo, if any of the, I guess it wasn't either of those. Maybe it was still 103. I don't remember if I got to speak on it, but when he was like
to Tusk.
He was like, yo, any of the humans get, I was like, oh. And nigga, I started to think that's when I was thinking that he was gonna start turning kind of dark side, going against the system's kind of wishes of reviving Byung-gu. I thought okay, this might be a evil, a little dark presence that Sung Jin Woo was about to go down, a little dark path. But yeah, so I was kind of I was surprised at that. But as far as their specific personalities,
right.
I'm not 100% sure, because it's for the most part, nobody else got that kind of characterization. I feel like besides Byung-gu in this scene. I think they went out their way to kind of really
the little extra push.
Yeah, which is cool. I'm not really complaining about it. I was just it just was what it was.
I feel like Iron has always had a personality for some reason.
Yeah.
At first, he was kind of just a soldier, but then later on, as it went down. And with Tusk and Iron, they slowly ended up gaining their little tidbits of personality going on there. Because when Jin, like you brought up for Tusk, when Jinwoo said, "If you hurt any of the humans, I will never summon you again." You know, Tusk got scared.
He was like, "Whoa, bro."
Nah, Tusk was like, "Man, I got this, fam. Don't worry about that."
Tusk was a little worried, but then he was like, "I got this, bet."
Yeah,
you know, and then as well as Egress too, he's slowly like starting to shape up a small personality going on, even though being a Egress. Yeah, thank you.
Do you guys feel like that, like he will, the shadows, because being a necromancer is kind of a darker title. Do you guys think maybe the shadows will ever rebel, or like maybe like like now that he's got the general there, the guy that even kind of pushed him to, I don't know, wherever that was, the next level of summoning or whatever, are they now going to be like, is there going to be maybe some resentment or anything like that? What do you guys think?
With the way things are rolling out, with how Tusk and Iron and Egress and Tank, like the four main generals of his crew, how they have yet to resent Jinwoo right now, I don't think there's going to be really much going on, especially even with the Ant King being a general. He knows that Jinwoo's going to be the higher up always. Like, he's just going to be like a soldier in the army where he listens to the higher up,
Right.
So that's what I think would go down about it.
I don't think there's going to be a rebellion. I think maybe there might be some, if Jinwoo has a plan or something and one of them doesn't agree with it, or, might be the best way of going about it. They might, voice their opinion on it, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be any type of rebellion to where they will look at him and just say no.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be any, because if you just look at it, every new shadow he's gotten has been completely 100% loyal ever since being turned into a shadow. Like, if we was going to see like resentment or rebellion, we would have saw it with Iron.
Yeah.
Iron's hard-headed ass.
Iron would have been the main one to resent and rebel, but he just quickly followed in line. But my question to y'all is, let's go back to the age-old question a lot of people was still thinking of. Do y'all think there are more players?
I highly doubt that.
I want there to be kind of.
There were other jobs, so I kind of hope there is. Like, I really hope there is, to be honest, because I want to see that dynamic. Because, I mean, 2 players or multiple players that just keep leveling up. I mean, like,
that's tight.
That'd be crazy. Like,
or
that'd be a reason
like,
for Jinwoo to lose right there. To be honest,
I wonder if his dad can. I doubt it, but maybe he spent so long in the dungeon or whatever. Yeah,
he just level up through sheer fucking badassery.
Yeah, but if there's other people, because it wasn't like that was the first case of double awakening, and I know for the most part people that got to whatever rank they got to, but I would hope kind of that they've got that we'll see another player. But I kind of want the spoiler, but I don't. Like, I kind of want to know, like, because people.
I'm on the same boat, because that's a really hard question to answer, especially since we're not getting much foreshadowing if there is another player or not. You know what I mean?
Because that would be a reason for him to lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if there's not, then it's hard to believe that whatever he does face is gonna come from the humans. So it's like, if there's not another guy that can level up, then we're pretty much just gonna be worried about higher ranking dungeon monsters in system. Maybe the system starts to work against him or whatever. I don't know, or he starts to try to rebel against the system or whatever.
Maybe it doesn't have to be another person, but as a human, maybe it could be one of the other species that we've seen or something like that. They have their own player or something of that nature. Because we've seen all these species of elves and orcs and all that kind of stuff. So maybe it's one of them.
I fuck with that.
Oh, that face! Don't make that face.
Yeah, I'm like, watch.
You don't make faces. You don't get the right to.
Yeah, any stone face for me.
Judge, can I get a cancel on this man?
I'm not saying nothing.
Y'all gonna make me read it stupid. Like, I'm not reading life now. I'm not doing it.
I really want to, but at the same time, I'm not gonna do that to myself.
Yeah.
The only reason I say why I don't read it, and I've been telling Knox this because Knox been real close to reading it, is because what happens, y'all are gonna enjoy it a lot more without knowing. Like, I still enjoy it thoroughly, but sometimes I do wish I haven't read it.
Right.
Because a lot of stuff I would have just been like head over heels for. Like the stuff that's coming, y'all are gonna lose y'all shit when it happens.
All right,
So,
I'm excited.
And like a lot of times when we be talking and I be laughing and smiling, it's because a lot of the theories y'all be saying is some of the same shit I thought before I read it. So I would say
wrong.
I would say just hold off, enjoy the ride. Just
So wait, all of my theories are wrong? Fuck.
I never said they were wrong or right.
So what do you guys like? I know I already asked this, but like, do you guys think that a dungeon is gonna pop up in the middle of the city or something like right after this?
I mean, it could pop up, but that's gonna come out until the time limit is. So it's just
It's like, geez, give my man a break.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Like, are they gonna give my homie a break, or are they gonna like straight up send him into more battles right away?
I mean, I guess it depends on what level of dungeon it is, also, because if it's just a regular dungeon, everybody else can take care of it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that there's been regular dungeons popping up simultaneously, but it's like if it ain't on a Sung Jin Woo like radar, it's just like something that we don't hear about. Like at this point, if an E-rank dungeon pops up, it's no reason for us to care.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Even when they went to the raid, I mean, I'm pretty sure there was still probably dungeons popping up, but it wasn't like, crazy enough to where all the S ranks or whatever need to come back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure like A rank guild or a B rank guild or hunters can take care of it.
Okay.
Now, if you guys,
you really don't need an S rank hunter. Like talking about it, like even the A rank gates. If you just have all A ranks, you can probably just,
I mean, that's what they've been doing until now. It's just like for most A rank gates, they just send them in.
What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that Sung Jin Woo could either send his shadows in to a gate, or or like just straight up, or B, attach his shadow to somebody and send them in? And like, let's say he attaches Igris to somebody, and Tusk to somebody else, yada yada yada, and then they just go and he just knocks out 10 dungeons at a time.
I think he can do both.
Mm-hmm.
I have a strong theory he could do that, considering the fact that he could send his own shadows out and they can stick around for however long they want. Like when he sent them out to the neighborhood watch,
Mm-hmm.
they just stuck around there for the whole time. Like throughout this entire series, they have been sticking around that whole neighborhood. So like,
I'm almost gonna guarantee that if that doesn't happen at least one time, like he just send out the Ant King to a dungeon, just let him clear it. You get all the experience. You gotta do nothing.
That'd be so dope.
Dude, I want to see the Ant King in action again in a dungeon, just ripping heads off.
I just want to see all of them like coming out of dungeons. Like I want to see a panel of like 10 like shots of like I said, Igris, Tusk, the Ant King, everybody just coming out of a dungeon, just like, and
at
like you
once.
said, it's just like it's just seeing level up. Sung Jin Woo sitting in a chair, just eating that XP.
He's just sitting there eating a sandwich. This is
just
great.
Leveling.
Yo, Trent, I want to ask you this because you wasn't here on the last one. So since Japan is pretty much fucked now with barely any S ranks, what do you think is gonna happen to Japan now? Like as far as like, do you think like they're gonna have a dungeon break, or somebody's gonna try to invade? Like maybe Russia, Germany, United States try to invade and just take over the whole.
Yeah, they only have one guild, so in general.
Right.
Yep.
I don't know. It's gonna get dicey because now it's like every government official's gonna be trying to make moves because now the cat's out the bag. Like Sung Jin Woo is to be acquired by any means.
Mm-hmm. From every country around.
Yeah.
But like, what I'm thinking is gonna happen is an asterisk dungeon is gonna pop up in a goddamn Japan. because simply because of the fact that Japan, like the way they've been running it, Japan tried to fuck over Korea. They fucked up miserably. They're just trying to go out for Japan. The author is gonna go out for Japan and send a fucking S-rank dungeon into them.
So you think it's just gonna be karma and they're gonna have their own S-rank dungeon break?
Yes, right in the middle of Tokyo or some shit, dog.
And of course, Sung will go just because he'll be interested in acquiring whatever that dungeon has.
He'll be acquiring XP for days.
That it would.
Okay, everybody but JD because I already knows the answer. Are there gonna be stronger shadows that he's gonna get? Do you think he's gonna get stronger shadows, or you think he's gonna stay the course?
I feel like he's gonna end up acquiring more shadows that are of as the strength of an S rank.
What's our limit right now?
Because the limit's around 1,000 something, and he only has like 500.
I'm just saying stronger than the Ant King is right now, because Ant King is stronger than any S rank that we know.
The only way this will happen is if Egress, because Egress is the only one that's like closest to the Ant King's level, for ranking wise.
And I don't think. And here's the thing with that. I think that like, and this may be, I don't know, it's maybe my own headcanon, but it's like, I feel like Icarus's cap is smaller. Like I would feel like he's probably reaching his cap, whereas the Ant King is just now about to start leveling up within his like shadow, like form or whatever. Right. So like he'll have the ability to go further because his base strength, he would probably have. I don't know if Icarus could, like Shadow Icarus could have took him in his base form.
Mm-hmm.
Are you saying that because that comment I made on Twitter?
No, I can't even remember the specific comment. What did you say?
Don't worry about it.
Dang it.
Well, but I mean, am I hitting it?
I'm not gonna say. I'm just say don't worry about it.
I think the complete opposite.
Okay. I mean, if you want to know, I'll tell you. It's not really it's not a spoiler, but I mean, I don't know. I guess you might consider it one, but I don't really think it.
I'm gonna let JC decide.
No, I'm about to go look on Twitter myself. What your thoughts?
Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
Go ahead.
He's our hunter. We got this, boys. Oh, what was I gonna ask? Something about the Shadow Monarch's army, the original army. Since like you guys said before, that she didn't notice the Jinwoo's shadows, but she knew the Shadow Monarch. What is the possibility of the original Shadow Monarch's army popping up to join Jinwoo's forces?
The original Shadow Monarch?
Yes, even if that's a thing. Like what I'm asking, because you guys brought up that Izil, the demon baby girl, she didn't notice. She didn't know who Jinwoo's shadows were. She didn't recognize them, but she knew of the Shadow Monarch.
If it's like you said, and Jinwoo's a replacement, I don't think the original one will show up.
I think you were talking about the armies of the original.
Mm-hmm. The army of the original, like to go to pop up and join his forces.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the actual Shadow Monarch.
No, not the actual Shadow Monarch.
Oh, okay. My bad. My fault.
Look, I can't find it. You tweet a lot.
I'll put it in the Twitter chat.
What do you guys think about it? Do you think it's a possibility of the original Shadow Monarch army showing up?
If we're going down that road, then you would have to think he has that faction that he doesn't know about, and if he becomes a Shadow Monarch or is or whatever, then he might have that. If that's where they're going with the story.
Oh, I do remember this tweet. Go ahead, my bro.
Then maybe. That is, if the story goes down that way, then yeah, of course, then he might as well. Then if he's a new one, then it's gonna fall in line like everybody else does.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, we are nearing the 1 hour mark now. We are at 58 minutes, 59 minutes coming
Nothing wrong with third place.
All right, so I guess we can top it off with the tweet that I
read it out.
Hey, he says it's nothing wrong. Basically, nothing wrong with third place. As far as Icarus is concerned, so.
Oh no! Why you do my boy dirty like that?
So I'm thinking, and what you guys got to say who you guys put in second. I don't know if we've got them yet or not.
I mean, technically, depending on what kind of fight it is, TiC is supposed to be stronger with the
Orb of Avarice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that or Castillo. We don't really know what Castillo could do. Is he just really a mount base? But other than that, I would probably say I would wager TiC.
Like I said, really, you can argue fourth place depending on if you consider TiC stronger than Icarus.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, as you consider TiC stronger than who?
Igris because of the orb of avarice.
So then it's not. So then it's somebody else that's second strongest.
We don't know if the Ant King gonna be second strongest, or if he's first strongest and he gets another one.
Yeah. So it's somebody we haven't got yet. That's got to be, or maybe the Ant King is the second. Yeah. Maybe the Ant King is the second strongest. So we haven't got the first.
Because, like I said about the original army, we never know if they have somebody stronger than the Ant King in the original army. You know what I mean?
There is an original army.
I'm gonna be keen on that.
They're gonna be waiting on every chapter. Where's the army
Yep.
at?
Yeah, I'm gonna look. Where is this army at? Where are they at?
The original army. But yep, that's all I'm gonna say. Nothing wrong with third place.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in for the Hunter Association podcast. I am your host with the most, Seraph.
Trent Money was we out.
we everybody at once now.
Once again, I waited. Yes. See y'all.
Peace.
Peace.